Hola, hola, mi gente linda. Welcome back. It is Wednesday, February 10th, day number 2 of impeachment, number 2 for Donald Trump. And this is your recap. In yesterday's recap, I told you that today, we were going to start seeing first the case from the House impeachment managers. They have up to 16 hours to present their case, and then Trump's defense team gets another 16 hours. So today, lead House impeachment manager, Representative Jamie Raskin, began the proceedings with a great analogy that I want to share with you. He said, "This case is much worse than someone who falsely shouts fire in a crowded theater. It's more like a case where the town fire chief, who's paid to put out fires, sends a mob not to yell fire in a crowded theater, but to actually set the theater on fire." In today's presentation, the House impeachment managers spent all of their time, several hours, making their case to demonstrate that Trump was responsible for what happened on January 6th. But they didn't just talk about the hours before the insurrection or the days right before the insurrection. No, they used a lot of video and audio, things that had never been released to the public until today, to demonstrate that this goes back all the way to last summer. If you recall that interview that he did with Fox News, where he said that the only way he would accept the results of the election was if he won. So, again, for several hours, the House Democrats were showing videos of him speaking at rallies, at White House events, showing tweets, and even playing the audio clip in which Donald Trump is pressuring the Georgia Secretary of State to find votes to overturn Joe Biden's win in that state in Trump's favor. And since we're in the topic of Georgia, I just want to make a little bit of a parenthesis here and let you know that today, the newly elected Democratic District Attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, opened a criminal investigation today into Trump's attempt to overturn the election in that state. So that's something that we're going to have to keep our eye on. So I said that the impeachment managers use a lot of video and audio to make their case, including a lot of footage and audio clips of Trump all the way since last summer, telling people that the election was going to be stolen, that the Democrats were cheating, that there was fraud. And then after the election results kept coming in for Biden and not favoring him, he kept saying that it was all fraud and everything else. But another thing that the House impeachment managers did was show video of Trump supporters. Number one, in Maricopa County, for example, demanding that the vote count be stopped, or outside the Michigan Secretary of State's house chanting "Stop the Steal." And they even showed video of people that participated in the January 6th insurrection saying that their actions were on orders of their president. So at one point, Representative Joaquin Castro of Texas, one of the impeachment managers, said his commands led to their actions. So I told you that there had been videos of what happened that day at the Capitol that had never been released to the public. And today, Delegate Stacey Plaskett, she's a Democrat from Virgin Islands, showed the videos paired with a map of the Capitol so that you could see exactly how the rioters were very well versed with the layout, and they overwhelmed Capitol Police and invaded the building. And there are several clips that were highlighted by most of the media sources. For example, one video clip of the rioters chanting for Vice President Mike Pence's death inside the Capitol. What is absolutely crazy is that just 2 minutes before, there had been a tweet from Donald Trump saying Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones which they were asked to previously certify. USA demands the truth. So while the vice president is doing his duty of certifying the electoral votes that were valid. Trump is tweeting against him, and 2 minutes later, this mob is chanting and trying to find him. Apparently, at one point, the group came within 100 feet of the room where Pence and his family were sheltering. Another video that you might have seen was of Officer Eugene Goodman. He is the one that directed the mob away from the Senate chamber. He also protected Senator Mitt Romney from Utah, who was going in one direction, and Eugene Goodman told him, no, you need to go a different way. Let's take a look. There's another video in which the rioters are looking desperately for Nancy Pelosi, and you can hear them screaming, Nancy, where are you, Nancy? At one point, they did get to Nancy Pelosi's office, and her staffers barricaded themselves inside a room. And there's a rioter that's throwing himself against the door and breaking it down, but there was another interior door that prevented anything else from happening. There's also footage of that guy that you must have seen taking pictures of himself with both feet on top of Nancy Pelosi's desk. His name is Richard Barnett, and he was actually carrying a very, very powerful stun gun with him. There was audio from Capitol Police calling their superiors and saying that this is a lot worse than anticipated and we're asking for backup. To finalize, the day wrapped up with a presentation of what was happening on the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue. According to the House managers, Trump was delighted at what he saw on the TV and did nothing to stop it. So when he finally tweeted 2 hours after this whole thing began, he told his supporters to support law enforcement, even though law enforcement was completely overwhelmed by this mob. And he refused to send any help. In fact, there's no indication that he ever tried to mobilize the National Guard. And when he later finally made that video that was released 4 hours after this thing started, he praised this mob and said that they were very special and that he knew how they felt, and never once told them to stop, never once condemned the attack. That's it for today. The trial will begin again tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, where the House impeachment managers will have some more time to make their arguments. And then on Friday is going to be Trump's defense team's turn. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like so that I can reach and help inform more people.